Welcome back to the channel. Today, I have a very special interview with my man Brody and his mom, Miss Butterfly. I don't want to give it all away though. I'll have you introduce yourself, Brody.
Hi, I'm Brody. 12 weeks ago, I started training with Jacob. I was looking to improve my camp times overall and just become a better athlete on the football field. And I feel like we'll get into that today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, talk to me a little bit about how things were before we started working together, really like how your athleticism was, a little bit about how your recruiting was going, bro.
Yeah, I'd say my athleticism was it wasn't where I wanted it to be. I feel like for training, like I didn't really know what was going on. I feel like that's like a common thing for most people. They're kind of just like going out there, they're training, but they're not like sure of the results they're getting. And I feel like I really wanted to make a change. I'd say also like confidence and like the mental part of everything was definitely a big thing for me. And I say those were the main key points that before.
Yeah, 100%, bro. What did you end up like trying before we got started? Kind of what did your training look like?
Yeah, I'd say it was kind of just like throwing things out there, going on TikTok, going on Instagram, finding workouts, putting them in place, kind of going on my own thing. And that's what it was for the most part.
I get it, bro. I've been there too, man. I've been there too with trying to figure it out. I got you. For you, Miss Butterfly, like what stood out to you in your perspective when we first talked, or even when you saw maybe my Instagram for a little bit, that made you interested in this entire thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think, when we met, I talked to you about the fact that we've talked to different people. I think what I appreciated about you was that you were genuine in your approach and honest. And that was a really key thing for me, because for me, it's about Brody not only learning skills and developing that mentorship and that connection, but also working with folks who have really good values and who are invested in him doing better as well. So that's what I believe was the tipping factor for us signing up with you.
I like it. I appreciate that. But I'm sure there might have been a couple things. Like, did you have any doubts initially looking at the program and everything we had?
Is that a question for me or for Brody?
Yeah, for you, Miss Butterfly. Then we can talk about Brody.
I think, of course, there's always doubts. There are a lot of people coming at you from different areas. I think this is a money-making business, right? There's folks with different skills there, but they're also looking to market those abilities in a way that you don't always know if they're going to be effective or worth the money that you're spending. So there was hesitation there. I think the hesitation was more about there's just so much coming at you when your child is moving into their junior and senior year that you're not sure where to take the risk. And so that was most of it. We're getting emails, we're getting phone calls, we're getting text messages from all different people with similar, approaches and similar products that they're offering or services that they're offering. And so it was hard to just filter out. But ultimately, I think too, it comes down to what's the best fit. So there's a lot of good people doing great work and similar work, but there's also the difference between that great work and someone that you're going to connect with for that. Well,
Gotcha. Of course. For you, Brody, did you have any specific doubts when we were getting started?
Not necessarily. I mean, I saw the Instagram videos, the things you were putting out there seemed pretty legit. I talked to you in messages, and I feel like you were more like you really want to like learn who I was as a person, and like you took it at a personal side. And I feel like building that connection is what really made me like take that extra step to work with you. And I didn't necessarily have any like major doubts.
I got you, bro. I like it. I like it. And when we first got started, like, what did you feel you need to work the most on?
I feel like I just need to like better round myself out as like an athlete, like really focus on technique and like taking everything like not at 100%, but like really thinking through the drills, thinking through everything, and just training smarter, I'd say.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you. Then looking all the way back now, 12 weeks ago, back to like week one, what do you feel like was different right away that like really helped in your approach, or maybe things that didn't work so well too?
Oh, are you talking like your approach at the
Yeah,
training?
sorry. When we just got started, like week 1, how was that for you?
Oh, I mean, it went amazing. Like you have an app that shows you like what you need to do for that day, and I feel like it's really like structured. The training is like it's set out specifically for you, and like each week it's not going to be the same exact thing. There's going to be different things, and I feel like that really like shows what you're putting out there is legit.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. I appreciate that. Then, like, kind of looking back to the results now, almost like, what changes have you seen as yourself and a player? Like athletically, I know we had some crazy numbers, but then as well, like how you've been interacting with some of these coaches.
Yeah, I mean the mental side of things has been major. I mean, there's so many different things that you help and you support me with that make like talking to coaches a lot easier. My approaches, I just feel like I could get more out of conversations for coaches and better prepare myself for certain situations. And I feel like that's a big factor within everything.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I know we spent a good amount of time of looking at like conversation starters, even like the specific restaurant we want to go to when we're talking to a coach. So we're top of mind with them. I think that's a huge piece that most people overlook a little bit with camps and getting your name out there with these coaches. For you, Miss Butterfly, have you noticed like any differences from a parent perspective on like how things have been going for Brody?
Yeah, I try to give Brody space, and so my checking in with him has been,
Yeah.
not to put pressure on him, just to show up when he wants to hold the camera to tape the things you're asking him to do, and to say, "How do you think it's going?" And I noticed, I would definitely say, an uptick in his confidence level and his, I believe, energy and hopefulness that he was feeling about continuing to go through the process. I think it was just really helpful to have someone else who's been through it and who's able to give those step by steps and be there with him in a way that he hadn't had previously. And so I noticed that. I mean, I don't necessarily know too much about all the drills that I'm recording, other than, oh, this looks a lot better than it did a couple weeks ago. So I did notice that, and just feeling better and more energized.
Of course. I'm glad to hear it. For you, Brody, kind of just talk to people about what the results are looking like right now. If you know any of the numbers at the top of your head.
Yeah, I mean, everything's been going great. My 40 has dropped like very good. It's right where I want it to be. My L drill, I feel like, has been like tremendous. I dropped like 0.4, I think. I went from a 7 to a 6.8, and that's just really great overall. And then my 5.10.5, that even dropped, and while slipping, I PR'd by 0.10, and I know I can even do better than that. And my broad jump, that's gone up like 8 inches. Everything's just like keeps going up. And like even when I'm not feeling 100%, I'm hitting a PR in my training, and it's just like tremendous to see the results.
Yeah, absolutely electric, bro. I know we had this testing the other day, crushed some numbers. Like you said, the 8 inches on the broad, almost 2/10 off the 40, slipping on the 5.10.5, and we're still hitting a 10th off. Got a 4.14 there. Then I actually got you at a 6.78 on the L drill, bro. Absolutely nuts. So that's a big one, and that's I think at 0.45 or 0.5 off, which is some next level stuff, bro. Proud of you for sure.
Mm.
Then talk to me a little bit about before we got started with this. Obviously, you guys had talked to other people about online training, things like that. What were some of your guys' beliefs about online training before we got started?
I mean, I kind of like come from a small town. There's not many like options for me to like train outside of online, and I previously worked with a trainer for running back stuff, and I feel like that went pretty good. It like changed my game at the running back position, and I honestly like give online training like a really good. I'd say it's really good for you, and I feel like it could be the same as in-person training. As long as you're recording your stuff, you're getting the correct feedback. I feel like you can get the same out of it as if you were training in person.
Yeah, of course, bro. For you, Miss Butterfly, was there anything that you had concerns about or any beliefs about online training before we got started?
Yeah, I have more concerns than him, just because I think person. You can walk up to someone every week, every training sessions, make eye-to-eye contact, check in. Of course, without first knowing you, there's that accountability piece. How are you actually going to hold this person accountable to the offerables that they're supposed to provide to Brody as part of this, and as long as he's doing what he needs to do, right? So there's definitely that hesitation there, but I do think that he has had a positive experience before, and we are in an area where resources are limited, and so expanding upon that and having some faith in the process has been super helpful for us.
Awesome. I love to hear it. Then for you, Brody, like what type of player, person, or recruit do you feel like this would be the right fit for?
Yeah, I'd say for someone like really trying to elevate their game overall, become the best athlete they can be, and like get in front of coaches, learn how to talk to coaches, have the confidence to really go up to coaches and present yourself how you want to be presented. And I'd say just athletes looking to crush it and just do that every single day.
I like it. For you, Miss Butterfly, is there anything like an athlete or for a family even that you feel like this would be a good fit for?
I mean, I think everybody has to make their own decision. I think from the perspective of if you're looking for someone who's going to actually offer upon the deliverables that they promise and then more, I think that we got more out of this experience, Jacob, than we anticipated in the beginning. And I'm super thankful for that. I think you expanded upon the things that we first thought. And I appreciate that. So I think it is a good opportunity for folks who are willing to kind of sit down with you and have that conversation and really look at the work that you've done previously. I would encourage others to do it.
But then for you, Brody, maybe what type of person or recruit maybe is this not the right fit for?
I'd say just overall, if you're not serious about like your future, if college, I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be about football, just as an athlete overall, if you're not big on what you want to get to and it's not as serious for you as others, then I'd say this probably isn't for you.
Gotcha, man. Well said, bro. Is there anything for you, Miss Butterfly, from a parent perspective that maybe this wouldn't be the right fit for someone?
Yeah, I think you have to have a kid, an athlete who's willing to put in the work. This isn't a situation where you can carry all the weight. They have to stick to the plan and they have to go beyond that plan. And I think Brody is the kind of athlete that will do that, who has always done that. So I agree with him. If somebody is looking for a magic fix, there's no magic fix. You have to work really hard. And then if you're able to tap into the skills and the knowledge of someone else, that's going to help you get there. But I think they have to be willing to put in that work as much as you're willing to put in that work.
Yes, I agree 100%. You know, it's not for the kids who need their hand held or can't do things on their own. It's the go-getters, the guys who want to do really well and want to be held to a higher standard. That's that's people we're looking for. Very, very well said. I like it. Brody, is there anything you would say to someone who's maybe on the fence about working with me or doing this?
Yeah, I'd say if you're on the edge of working with Jacob, like you're watching his videos and you just don't know like if this is the right fit, I'd say I'd definitely go out there and like take the leap, because I wouldn't sacrifice your future because you're just gonna like sit there and waste time. I'd say it's well worth it. Everything gives it to you is well worth it, and I'd say go out there and take that leap.
I like it, man. For you, Miss Butterfly, is there anything for like a family who's maybe on the fence about this? Your thoughts about it?
I think if you could just take a minute to like sit back and really evaluate the information that people are providing you and align it with the videos, the testimonials, that will really tell you the big picture. Don't rush, but don't hesitate. I guess my big concern, and that sounds like a dichotomy, but essentially the idea was if we waited too long, there would be a risk that he wouldn't get what he needed. But if we jumped too quickly at something that wasn't right for him, then that would take us in a whole different direction and waste time too. So I think, use the information you have, make a solid decision based on your life and what works best for you, but also use your intuition. I think for me anyway, I went a lot with my gut in terms of how I felt about you're approaching you.
Awesome. Awesome. I appreciate it. Now, I know AI is really rampant nowadays, Brody. Where can they find you on Instagram, bro? What's your handle?
Oh, my Instagram is BROZY.33.
I love it, man. I love it. Awesome. Well, I appreciate both you guys hopping on here and sharing some of your thoughts.
Thank
Yeah.